Oh, hello. As you're familiar, people have a tendency to gain weight as they become older. They alter their lifestyle choices due to lack of time and energy, they exercise less, and they consume more fast foods rather than a good home-cooked meal. So if you focus on two aspects, diet and exercise, you can truly make progress with the older generation to lose fat and regain muscle.
The first thing you got to figure out is, what are you measuring? What does success look like? Well, it turns out it's not your weight, it's your waist size, which is the best predictor of health. The ideal waist size, measured at your belly button, is about half your height. Take a look at this chart and see what your waist size should be while I take you through mine. I'm 6 feet 1 inches tall, so 6 times 12 inches, because the 12 inches in a foot is 72 inches. Add 1 more inch, that's 73 inches. Divide it in two, 36 and a half inches. If I'm more than that, I got too much belly fat going on. If you've got too much belly fat, problems start to happen.
As type 2 diabetes is on the rise in children, it can be concluded that there is no correlation between age and onset. Obesity and physical inactivity are major precursors in the development of type 2 diabetes.
In my study, it was shown that increased circulating levels of C-reactive proteins, which is the acute phase of chronic inflammatory conditions like bacterial, viral, and tissue injury, or necrosis, phospholipase A2 found in women only, fibrinogen, and adiponectin had a linear association with increasing waist circumference and decreased physical activity causing obesity.
We attempted to delve into the human psyche and relate psychosocial factors such as alcohol consumption, unemployment, and mood as predictors for obesity and later on metabolic syndrome.
Older adults consume their time with family and work, so they don't get to participate in active sports such as tennis, rugby, like they did in their 20s. Instead, we see a lot of the older population playing golf, partaking in bowling nights, or just sitting at home watching TV instead now.
In our 6-year longitudinal model adjusted for all studied covariates, we found that every 15-minute increase in sedentary behavior from baseline to follow-up was associated with a 0.13 centimeter increase in waist circumference.
The respective contributions of abdominal obesity and physical inactivity to the variation in plasma levels of inflammatory markers are not yet established. Although inflammatory markers are strongly associated with an increased risk of CHD, it is unclear to what extent these relationships can be explained by variations in abdominal obesity and physical inactivity.
The definition of sedentary behavior varies, but its association to modalities may be the key to examining it as a true longitudinal health risk factor.
Results from my recent study, the relationship between obesity, physical activity, and physical function in older adults, show that obese people age 85 or older scored lower scores overall compared to the rest of the study. The findings from my study show the importance of participation in regular physical activity to slow down the loss of functioning and increase the quality of life.
Maintaining physical activity levels is crucial in preventing type 2 diabetes. Studies have shown that a decline in physical fitness and physical activity levels from childhood to adulthood tends to be a predictor for the onset. Therefore, making physical activity a part of your lifestyle as a child and continuing it throughout adulthood is very important. This not only reduces the risk of type 2 diabetes, but other obesity health impairments such as cardiovascular disease.
Our findings show that, in particular, the diet-exercise group outscored the other groups in all tests, noticeably in strength, balance, and gait. So as you can undoubtedly observe, diet and exercise both have their strengths, but when you combine the two, that is when you make the most considerable achievements. The crucial message to get across to the health organization is that the general population, especially older adults, are conscious of the detrimental effects that inactivity has on health, and that promoting physical activity is an effective way for lowering the incidence of physical dysfunction.